Welcome to Living Magically with me, your host, Magical Michelle. And this week, which starts at June 30th, we are moving into the energy of the second half of the year. I don't know about you, but I don't know how that is completely possible, except we're going to talk about that. How does it feel like it could possibly be halfway through 2025 and really the halfway mark of an entire decade? Really? Oh, wow. Like, think about that. In this decade, we started with 2020, and everything is happening, and it feels on one level like it is rapid, and on another level, like it has slowed down. And I have a lot of people who are feeling disoriented right at this moment. So if that's where you're at, where there's like this sort of in between, we call this in metaphysics the liminal in between. And that's where, as you're becoming something, you are no longer one part of you, and you're not yet the other thing. So to give an example of that, the butterfly, when it is in the chrysalis of the cocoon, it's in the liminal in between. It is no longer the caterpillar, and it is not yet the butterfly. It has not taken flight. It does not have wings, but it also doesn't have legs. It is literally dissolving. It is in this liquefied state. And I really want to say that that's what this feels like to me. And so let's unpack this a little bit. June 30th. And by the time you're watching this or listening to this, this may be the first day of July or even a couple of days after. This week meets that halfway mark of 2025. And that sort of puts us at this halfway part of a decade. It's intense and it's calm, and it's sort of like that pause, that pregnant pause. And it's also the still point. And that is exactly where we're at. We're at this inhale and almost like we're holding our breath. We are in Cancer season, and in this month we will also move to Leo season, but we're right here in this Cancer season. And Cancer is the ruler of the moon, and we have Jupiter in Cancer, which is the planet of expansion. And right now we have just changed so much. We're changing, we're growing, we're contracting, we're expanding. When I say all of that is happening, there is that place of where do I fit into it all? And I'm no longer who I've been, and I am not yet who I'm becoming. That is the playing field that we're on right here. And so that's a choice point that allows us to take a review. There's that pregnant pause of reviewing, healing, finishing the karmic contracts, closing doors, changing things up, endings. And when you're looking at a wheel, there is not necessarily a end point in a circle. There's always the ending is a new beginning, and the beginning is an ending, and the door is open, and everything is somewhat clear and unclear at the same time. And that's what this is saying. Okay, all these planets are changing where they have been, some for a very long time, and we are changing where we have been, and we want to calibrate to where we are and where we're going. So one of those parts that we're in right now is what I call the law of humility. And when we touch on that, I also call this the law of acceptance. So we must first accept something before we can change it. Before we can go somewhere, we must figure out where we are. So that's the recalibration that's happening here, the still point, the pause, the pregnant pause, the breath. And so it's that inhale and that hold. And at that space, everything is possible. We're at that pregnant point in our year. If you're in the northern hemisphere, the sun is fullest, but it is also moving to just a tiny bit less every single day. We are losing the illumination of the sun growing, but we haven't harvested yet. We're still in that heat, that fullness, that potential point, but we are still growing and we are still becoming, and we haven't harvested. We have that seed that has become the green vine and not necessarily the flower or the fruit. And so we take that and we say, what am I going to do with all of this? And that's Cancer. Cancer season has to do with getting your home in order, getting yourself in order, getting your body in order, getting your friends, your family, and your work in order. And when we move into Leo, there's more of a strength to that. And that doesn't come till later in July. But right now, we're in the season of cultivating and nurturing and being and becoming. And it's a sweet spot. It's a time where maybe you feel like you need to rest. Maybe you don't even know what you need to do. And so rest, or one thing that is possible. What can I do today? What's possible now? What is something that moves the needle? And as we're in that, we're gaining insight. We're gaining more momentum. We're in this together. Like I just can't say it enough. The sun is really at this peak, and the moon is growing stronger in the sky right now. We will have the beginning of the 7/7 portal, which is next Monday. So I will be doing my live a little bit early because I do have an oils temple. If you're local and wish to join us, don't wait till the last minute, because I have been selling out. The oils temple will be at Center Street on 7/7 to do an Egyptian oil anointing with a sound healing on 7/7. And of course, I will be doing a video that day at some point earlier. And so as we're getting closer to that, and as we get to that full moon that will happen next week, we're in the energy of growing and creating and getting clear and taking action and strengthening and being. And of course, Taurus is in its exaltation because it's in Taurus. And the moon loves Cancer season. So we're in this really sweet spot of hug that person closer. Love yourself a little more. Be present. If you can't see the future, it's because we're shutting the doors to the past. Be present in the now. I used to wear this bracelet and it said, I am here now. And we can say that like 50 different ways. I am here now. I am here now. And it's saying that I'm not in the past anymore. So I'm shutting that door and I'm accepting it, and I'm really recalibrating to where am I? Because before you can put the GPS into where you're going, you must take stock. You must look around. Where am I? What am I doing? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What am I changing? What am I keeping the same? What am I doing more of? What's working for me? What isn't working for me? And where do I want to go? And so with this light codes, we're going to have a very potent, it's always potent, 7/7 to 8/8 is one of the most potent times of our year for that energy, that power and courage. So before we can have courage, before we can have strength, we get to see where we are. And that's just the still point, the review. And it's not saying anything is good or bad or right or wrong. It's just, where am I? That's the law of humility. That acceptance of, I'm here now. And that's where we are. I'm here now. And that might be, where am I going? What do I want? What am I creating? And it's also, what am I healing? What doors am I shutting? What energy am I calling back to myself that's been lost? How do I reclaim my sovereignty, my boundaries, my power? And am I open? Am I safe to receive? Am I allowed to be full? Am I in the energy of fullness and in my power? And none of this is saying anything is right or wrong. It's just saying, this is where I'm at. So if you can recognize this is where I'm at, you have the ability to put it into the GPS where you're going, where you desire to go. And that's the recalibration of this second half of the year. And with that, I invite you to say, what am I creating? What am I choosing? What am I giving my energy to? And what am I no longer available for? Right? What is in the destructive phase of releasing, cleaning, letting go, unbecoming? And I invite you to lean into coherence and harmony and unity, finding peace and finding love and finding the center, your points, your home. And your home is in yourself and in your body. You're not going to find it outside of you. You're going to find that in your physical body. You're going to find that in your heart. You're going to find that in your mind's eye. You're going to find that in your cells. You're going to find that in your chakras, your energy centers, your wheels of light. And so you might want to be more alone. The crab season of hermiting and getting into your own shell and maybe being with that one or two most important people in your life. We have the potency of the 4th of July this week. We have the potency of a new month, and a new month is always a good time for a clean start, a new beginning, a new set of things. Of course, I'm going to blow my cinnamon out the door. I'm going to start everything with a new perspective on the first of the month. And also for me, Independence Day is, where do I become a sovereign, free being myself? How do I create independence in myself without the overcorrection of being so independent that I don't need the rest of the world? And this is the harmony. This is the balance of, how do we create sovereignty and interdependence? How do we become powerful and sovereign unto ourselves and invite partnership? I do believe that 2025 is about that partnership. 2025 has that power of the snake and the end of things, but it is also the energy of renewal and rebirth and restoration. And so as we connect to that Cancer energy, and welcome all of you who Cancer is your birth month. I see at least 2 of you. Happy birthday this month. What is that energy of restoring home within our body, our peace in our own body, our temple, our holy temple? Cancer is all about our own body being our temple. You know, Cancer crab carries its own shell around. But we don't want to be so protected by our own shell that we're not connecting to others. We don't want to be overprotected or underprotected. We always have the ability to be protected. That's our power. But we also want to be in coherence. We want to be in co-creation. We want to be in alliance with someone else, in partnership. Who can we partner with? Who can we be in coherence with? Who can we be in collaboration with? And so it was interesting, before this call, I did a little card pull, and this is geometric coherence, the 3 of portals. And so we're opening up to that Metatron's cube, that portal energy. And I do feel that 7-7 portal is going to be a huge gateway to finding coherence. And the second card is the 3. So interestingly, the energy of the 3 of portals, and then the 3, the Empress card. And this is the Naga of the golden lotus. And so the Naga is a snake energy, a serpent energy. And so we're connecting to the Empress, the power of being sovereign and empowered. But the Empress is also, like a Cancer, is about ruling our home life, our ability to rule our world, but from that feminine divine energy of empowerment, embodiment, and empowering others. If we're not feeling supported by others, then support others. Be in partnership, but be empowered in that partnership. And then lastly, 8, origins of light, the strength card. And I just feel that we're in this new golden age. And I feel that shift has happened. I know that shift has been occurring within our bodies, occurring within our mind, our heart, our soul. And so on that still point of get quiet, get strong, get empowered, get coherent, breathe up to our heart and breathe to our mind's eye, and visualize and be making these action steps and taking that next invitation to who we are and who we're becoming. And with that, we've created, Marissa and I have created a beautiful offering that we're going to offer on the 23rd or 24th, whatever the new moon is. It's the day before the new moon at the end of July. And we're going to be offering this masterclass on getting these steps to the clarity and manifesting on command. That is our intention, is to help you through this portal, through this manifestation, into being the sovereign being that you're meant to be. So this is what we're doing for you right now. Our offer is, how do I become able to manifest with clarity, truth, and decisiveness? So we've created something for you to help you with that, and that'll be our theme for the month of July and into August. Is the portal of crystal clear clarity, and we are intending to do that with you and for you. And when I say for you, we're going to give you the key, and we're going to give you the steps, and then we're going to back you up on that. And I invite you to back yourself up on that in the remembrance of I am worthy and I am deserving and I already am empowered. That's what's happening here, is as we're moving into alignment, as we're moving into this time-space continuum of the second half of 2025, where are you going further with the rest of this year? What's your GPS point? That's step one, is where am I? And step two is where am I going? And step three is starting to figure out all the things that interfere with that belief system. And we'll get much deeper into that in the free masterclass at the end of the month. But I invite you to sign up for that. And if you're local, sign up for the 7/7 portal conversation. And we will be doing that here in Orlando, Florida, actually in Altamont at Center Street next Monday. But this week, the invitation is to gain that still point of finding coherence, finding unity, finding I'm here now, and this is where I'm going, and making some clear-cut decision, because there's power in the choice, making the decision of what I'm choosing and creating and going forward with. There's a power in that. But also there's a power in resting and recalibrating and realigning. And have you ever had that GPS and you get off track? GPS says recalibrating, and it allows you to re-center. That's where you are. That's where we are as a collective. Yeah, things are crazy in the world, but peace comes from within. Peace is a heart-based emotion. Light and love are heart-based emotions. And when we come back to the still point of that, when we come back to the alignment of coherence with the heart and the mind connected to the earth and the earth connected to the above, knowing that we are in alignment, we're in the power, we are the Empress, we are the coherence, we are the strength, we are the power, we are the light, we are the love, then we are powerful. And we are embodying and we're becoming. And we're not in the past and we're not in the future. We're in the moment. We are here right now in alignment. And I know that that's part of that is there and here for you right now. So choose that path. Choose the path of your love. You're choosing the path of your joy. You're choosing the path of your peace. You're choosing the path of your expansion. Jupiter in Cancer is such an expansive energy. And even though the rest of the world may be contracting, choose for you love and light and joy and alignment and coherence and expansion. And just remember, all of this is just a practice. Every one of us falls out of coherence, falls out of alignment, falls out of our dreams, our hopes. It's about returning to the centeredness. It's about returning to who you want to be. It's about making the choice. You know, if you've been saying something wrong, return to saying something right. If you've been eating wrong, return to eating in a way that makes you feel more empowered. Whatever you feel that's felt out of alignment, you get to choose to come back to alignment. Every single minute is part of the next choice. And what you're experiencing now is a result of all the choices you've made up till now. What you're experiencing in the future is from the choices you are currently making, the frequency that you're currently creating. That will be what your future is built off of. So don't worry about the past in that way. Clean it all up. Be here now and create going forward. Be the light. Be the anchor. Be the peace you want to see in the world. Be the love you want to be in the world. And do it before you can have certainty on it. Create the certainty within yourself. And that's where the magic starts to happen. That's where it all rolls out. That's where all of this becomes heart-centered alignment. And with that, I love you. I will see you next week. Take very good care of yourself, because that is another piece of the puzzle, is personal love and reflection, to taking really good care of yourself. And I love you. Live magically.